Hello and welcome to a packed edition of Frost Over the World. Later in the programme, I'll be discussing drugs in sport with someone who should know about it, Ben Johnson. Plus press freedom in Egypt, Bianca Jagger on the death penalty, and the chances that once again the people of Holland could derail Europe's constitutional treaty. But first, the United Nations Security Council. Today they adopted a statement strongly deploring the military crackdown by the leaders of Myanmar, formerly Burma, on pro-democracy protesters. It also called for the early release of all political prisoners and remaining detainees. It's estimated that more than 10,000 protesters were detained, though the authorities claim that only 1,000 remain in prison. Meanwhile, pressure is growing on Myanmar's ruling generals to open negotiations with Aung San Suu Kyi, the leader of the National League for Democracy. She's under house arrest in the country, but met the UN's envoy, Ibrahim Gambari, if you remember, last week. The NLD's self-declared government in exile continues to press for the restoration of democracy, but it does so from outside the country's borders. Its Prime Minister is Sein Win. Dr. Win joins me now from Washington. Dr. Win, welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
What is your mood now as you hear that the Security Council have made a move? Maybe not a total move, but a move. Are you feeling more optimistic or not?
Yes, I am feeling more optimistic, but the Security Council should follow this statement with acts. For example, like Mr. Gambari going to Rangoon very soon, and he should have an office there, and this process should continue. It is not that he will be invited and wait for some time, go back, come back. It should not be like that. And at the same time, we are very concerned about the situation on the ground. As you know, thousands of people were detained in some centers with appalling conditions. Human Rights Council has already adopted a resolution. We would like the Human Rights Special Reporter to go in as soon as possible. Things are very bad there. We hear about people died while torturing. So it is our concern that this should stop, and you should follow with the act.
And I mean, as the Prime Minister in exile, obviously you have a great many sources of getting information from Myanmar, from Burma, and in terms of that, you were just saying earlier that you're convinced that your sources tell you that there has been torture, for instance.
Yeah, there has been torture, and even they were put in some centers, not in jail, but in some centers, and then the condition is appalling, really, and they were treated without regard to any human dignity, and many monks were, all the monks in detention were disrobed, and some were sent to some jails. We heard about it, we know about it. So, but the military refrained from announcing actually what and who, and they just say we release, but they never say how much they detained. And we also know that they are trying to wipe out the evidence, and they are terrorizing the people. It's a kind of state terror, I would like to say.
And they've said that Aung San Suu Kyi has to drop her confrontational attitude. Well, if I'd been detained for years under house arrest, I'd feel pretty confrontational, wouldn't you?
No, that is a very unreasonable condition they put on Aung San Suu Kyi, so that Tan Shui could say, oh, because of that I could not meet her. They already, what you call, appoint a liaison officer, That means Tan Shui is not ready to talk with her and trying to buy time, and these are all unreasonable. As you said, she is under house arrest for many years, since 2003. How can she be confrontational? And she is always asking about dialogue.
Exactly, and I mean, I suppose that's one of the first things that the regime could do, which would be to end the house arrest.
At least they should let Aung San Suu Kyi meet with her colleagues and talk with her colleagues, because it is put under incommunicado, which is very, unacceptable. And they are saying we are going to talk with her, Yeah. So all these things are all contradictory moves made by the military. So the United Nations should follow up very closely, monitor closely, and act very quickly.
And back then in 1990, you were about to become the Prime Minister of Burma, a new and independent country, a democracy. Do you think it's possible that democracy could return to Myanmar without bloodshed, without any more bloodshed?
Well, it is possible, but I would like to say is that time is running out. The peoples are very angry because of the beating of the monks and all these terror tactics now they are using. The peoples are very angry now, But if the international community, everyone, and including China, India, and Russia, and the country in the region start to move, it is possible. There is no, we can see the solution, but the military has to talk with Aung San Suu Kyi. The military has to come to the table. That is the most important thing.
Well, we hope that you will return to a democratic Burma or Myanmar during your life and have time to enjoy the new situation. Do you think that will happen to you?
I hope so. Oh, I think so. And with this people's demonstration, peaceful demonstration, it shows that the people want change. It shows that the people do not accept the military.
When did you speak to Aung San Suu Kyi last, in fact?
Well, she is now put under incommunicado, and before that, the military has a law that anybody like us calling her at home or somewhere, she could be, they can use this law to persecute her. So we refrain from talking to her. But I met her last time in 1989, before she was put under house arrest that day.
Thank you very much. Well, that reunion will be part of the new Burma whenever it happens. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
In a moment, I'll be talking to a leader of Holland's campaign for a referendum on the European Constitutional Treaty. But that is after this short break.